So the other thing that was happening yesterday that really cracked me up, especially because of the way the New York Times covered it. The New York Times is like a source of like constant satire at this point. Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein, he's been part of this whole DC circus, right? And there's a story that was going around that after James Comey was fired, and this was in the guy who was Andrew McCabe, who was the acting head of the FBI after Comey was fired. He wrote memos saying that Rod Rosenstein suggested he would wear a wire, talk to Trump, tape Trump, and then they could get rid of him via Article 25, which says if you can get rid of the president if he's not fit to serve office. Rosenstein says this isn't true. He says some said it was a joke. Brit Hume tweeted today, the dean of Fox commentators. Brit Hume tweeted, according to our sources at Fox News, it wasn't a joke. It was a sarcastic rebuttal to an accusation that he wasn't being tough enough on Trump, as in, what do you want me to do? Wear a wire? Somehow this got construed as a claim that he was joking or that he didn't say it. I have a very unpopular opinion about this, because I know we want to talk about the deep state. We want there to be conspiracies against Trump in the deep state. I believe what Brit Hume said. I believe Rosenstein. Why? Because Rosenstein is a very, very smart guy. You don't have to like him, but he's a very, very smart, talented attorney. He knows there ain't going to be no Article 25. He knows he's not going to wear a wire in there against the president. That is just garbage. I just don't believe it. Nikki Haley and Mike Pompeo were at the UN. They both said that it was also ridiculous. Here's Haley.
Literally, I have never once been in the White House where that conversation has happened. I am not aware of any cabinet members that are even talking about that. It is completely and totally absurd. No one is questioning the president at all. If anything, we're trying to keep up the pace with him in the fact that he's got a lot he wants to accomplish very quickly, and we're going to continue to support him in the way that he does that.
So they're just trying to keep up with Trump. They're not trying to get rid of him. So yesterday, Rod Rosenstein, anyway, goes over to the White House, and the reporter's saying he's going to resign. He's going to be fired. He's going to be fired. Then he's going to resign. He's going to resign. Then he's going to be fired. First he'll resign, and then he'll be fired. No, you're quit. You're fired. You know, all of it. None of it happened. He went over there. Trump's in New York at the UN, so there wasn't going to be any firing, and he wasn't going to resign if he wasn't getting fired. And Trump said, "We'll talk on Thursday, and we'll find out what's going on." I mean, he should answer for this. You know, he should. This is a serious thing. You don't want your deputy attorney general saying this, so he should answer and talk about what's going on and what he meant and all that. And Trump should find out the truth. And of course, you can always depend on Adam Schiff to be the sleaziest guy in the room. If he and Michael Avenatti ought to start their own law firm. He's like the Joe McCarthy. He says, oh, if he fires Rod Rosenstein, it'll be the Saturday Night Massacre a la Watergate.
Rod Rosenstein should under no circumstances resign. If the president intends to obstruct justice, Rosenstein should require him to be fired. He shouldn't take a step affirmatively and essentially let the president off the hook. This looks to me like a slow-moving Saturday Night Massacre. It seems like the only question is whether these steps take place now or they take place after the midterms when the president believes he'll pay less of a political price for it. But the fact that these steps, the firing of Comey, pushing out Rod Rosenstein, whether it's done now or later, the firing of the Attorney General apparently seems contemplated after the election. These are, in their cumulative form, the same as the Saturday Night Massacre, and all designed for the same end, and that is to give the president direct control over an investigation in which he may be implicated.
So he really is like the reincarnation of Joe McCarthy. Obviously, the Saturday Night Massacre, when Archibald Cox, the investigator into Watergate, Nixon fired him, and he had to fire a lot of people before he could find somebody who would fire him. The Democrats always wanted to go back to Watergate. They hearkened back to Watergate. That was their great triumph when they overturned an election of someone they didn't like without having to go back to the people. And that's what they're trying to imitate with Donald Trump. So they're always thinking about that. But what I love is the New York Times, a former newspaper, the way they report this, they say, even for an administration famous for chaos and rival factions, Monday's events regarding Rod Rosenstein offered a remarkable display of the anxiety gripping the Trump administration. Where was the chaos? The chaos was at the New York Times. The chaos was in the media. The anxiety was in the media. All of this is in the media. And I'm not saying that the White House isn't chaotic. I don't know. I'm not there, but they're not worried about it. It is only the New York Times, and certainly not bothering me. It's not my life. The chaos is in the press.